So, just a couple of days ago, I made a video explaining why I was selling my index. Well, about that. It's not for sale. What an intro, huh? This is my first time ever making an intro, recording an intro, and then editing, yeah, and adding my my brand intro all together. So yeah, right. It's a big step. All of my between the two channels, I think I have 29 subscribers, 28, something like that. You'll all be very pleased. So thank you. And you're welcome. But yeah, so the Odyssey. No, the index. We're here to talk about the index. Yeah, I just, after I made the video, I was like, well, I better put it on and spend a little more time with it before I box it all up and get rid of it. And after like 2 hours of playing Beat Saber, kind of got in the flow state, like really kind of, was feeling it. I was like, no, I remember when I got the Odyssey, or when I had the Odyssey and then I got the index. I remember this first thing I did, because that was the game I was familiar with. And no, I can't get rid of it. Like it's appealing to think like I bought an electronic device like that and got a lot of use out of it, and then I could sell it for what I paid for it. That's rare. That's very uncommon. Like mostly to get something like that, get such a good return like that. I'm an American. Usually to be able to do that, you're talking either jewelry or guns. Most things don't keep their value like that, especially electronics devices. Usually almost the opposite, right? Like usually you spend $1,000 on an electronics device, 2 months later it's worth $750, period. Because it's used, not necessarily because of depreciation, but just because of the fact that it's yours now. And then you have transferable warranties and all this other crap. So it was like, well, especially since they're going for over $1,000, it's like I'm losing extra money because of what I could sell it for. So I was just thinking about that, and COVID, everything else. It's like maybe prioritization is really important. Maybe I should be thinking about that. Nah, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to keep it because of the 3 series cards coming out pretty soon, meaning the 2 series cards I can get not too long from now. Should be able to get a 2 series card pretty cheap. They do tend to make a few more models as time goes on. So, maybe there'll be a 2080 Ti Ultra Super Budget Edition, Also, my biggest bottleneck is actually my CPU. It's not necessarily the video card, I don't think. So, I feel like I'm better off keeping the end. I'm sorry, I point to the things I'm talking about. It's stupid. You can't see them. I'm sorry. The index is, it's worth keeping for me. So I'm going to hang on to it. For the people that are considering getting an alternative to the index because of the weight, I totally understand. I think if I was in that position and I didn't have a Quest, I just did it again. I didn't have a Quest or a backup Odyssey. If I wanted a headset right now and I was willing to pay a good amount of money for one, I would strongly lean towards the Reverb 2, the HP Reverb 2. I think that's what I would get instead of waiting for the index. Because I will say this, the index controllers are amazing. They're great. My favorite thing about the index is not the visuals, it's not the refresh, it's the sound. And so personally, I think the Reverb is awesome because it has a higher resolution than the Odyssey Plus, which I think has a beautiful screen. Has a higher resolution than that, which resolution isn't everything, but let's look past that. But it also has the index style surround, that those off-ear, whatever they are, they're beautiful. Like they work so well. There are people that say that it's not the best, but they're wrong. They're just wrong. The index has amazing sound, and I think that's very important because you're trying to be trapped in a world And that's what it's doing, is it's helping you be encapsulated, but it's also kind of got that that ability to be, it's bizarre how you're in another world and you still, like, you can have a conversation with someone beside you. It's very neat. It's also very neat because it seems so loud, but the person beside you, they'll only just hear it. You know, that the Quest tries to do it and it sucks at it. The Index does it and it's amazing. It's so great. I shouldn't say that. It's not like whisper quiet to the people around you, but it's still, that's what makes it so special, is the sound to me. So the reverb, I would definitely suggest checking out the reverb if you're not wanting to deal with the weight. And I don't suggest the Index for anyone that has like anything less than a 1080. If your CPU is a little dated, I'm sorry, I don't know exactly which one to suggest, but if it's a couple of years old, or if you know, whatever, basically those system requirements on the website that say, you know, this is the recommended system or the minimum system requirements, just ignore that, because I'm telling you, I have the minimum system requirements. They're actually a little bit higher, and I've had the time to realize that if you have those minimum specs, you're better off with like an Odyssey or maybe a Vive than an Index, because you don't get to really utilize all of the special, you know, features of the Index. It's basically, it's like buying the highest. Yeah, it's like buying the highest model of the Corvette. I think like right now you can buy a Corvette, or you can buy like I don't know what the special editions are nowadays, but it's like buying the fastest one, say paying $130,000 when you can buy a brand new one for 60 or 50, and then living in a place that only has, you know, eighth of a mile stretches everywhere. Like there's nowhere to open it up or like really enjoy it. That's kind of the way I see it. You don't want to waste money, but in the same token, if you know you're about to upgrade your computer, then by all means. So it's almost 7 minutes. That's long enough. I feel like I've rambled, and I always feel like these videos are garbage every single time. I'm going to kind of set up like a teleprompter or something. I'm working on this. I don't know who's going to watch this all the way through. If you did, I really appreciate it. I don't mean to sound so self-critical and you know, all of that, but that's who I am. That's why it takes me forever to make a video. That's also why I made the other channel, because I don't put as much thought into those videos. I just go do it. But that's that. Don't buy it unless you need it, or buy it because you want it. I don't have an answer for you, but if you don't want to wait, then there are options out there. I really think that reverb is going to be awesome. That's what I think. But peace.